Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series. Arri, how are you?
I'm just dandy, Adam. How are you? What's going on over there? You had Pride weekend in Chicago.
Well, we had Pride Fest last weekend. We have Pride, the parade and Pride in the Park is this coming weekend.
Right. It's like all month, all June.
All month, girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be.
As it should be. It should be every day of the year.
Corporations promoting your rainbow merch.
Paraphernalia.
You can carry the rainbow merch all year long, girl.
Yeah, it doesn't just stop. Arri,
Adam.
this week.
Adam.
Arri. Hey, Arri. Arri, this week we read chapter 26 called The Second Task. Now, I do think it's funny that you've had to do both tasks.
Yeah, haven't I? Yeah, the way it went.
I wonder if I'm...
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you know? Is it an odd or even number?
What is it? 27, 28, 29, 30. 31. It'll be me.
Okay.
But it's also...
About fucking time.
Yeah, but then you have to do the chapter right after it, which is Flesh, Blood, and Bone. So
I think
LOL.
that one is only like it's like a very short one. Funny enough, there's one that's significantly shorter.
Those four are like all kind of short because it's like the third task, Flesh, Blood, and Bone, the Death Eaters, and then Priority and Cantanum, and then Veritaserum. So Veritaserum is definitely when you're back. I think at the end of Priority and Cantanum is when he ends the...
Oh my God, yeah.
He takes the port key.
I'm just looking on Audible. Chapter 31 is 50 minutes. And then Flesh, Blood, and Bone is 13.
I mean, it's also the chapter where Cedric Diggory dies, so we're definitely gonna have a little bit to say.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler! Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Just the complete contrast, 50 and 13. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here we are.
Arri, what happens in chapter 26 called The Second Task?
So I'm doing this a little differently this week. What happens in this chapter is Harry prepares or does his damnedest to prepare for the second task, and then experiences the second task. But for me, this chapter is about 2 baby unicorns, y'all, and that is all I care about. I don't care about any of this nonsense. There are 2 baby unicorns. You guys, this is such a quick moment, and I was like, I need a full chapter.
I need a book.
2 gold foals. Chapter 26.5. 2 gold foals.
2 gold foals.
Please. So for me, that's what this chapter is about. But in reality, yeah.
That's one of my notes is all caps, unicorn foals are pure gold.
I was like, this is very interesting. And it goes from gold to silver to pure white. I was like, okay, interesting. Okay. I wonder where that choice came from.
It goes from galleon to sickle to white.
What is she trying to say? JK. White. Those are going to grow long enough that they're going to be like French tips.
French tips.
That's what you're going to say?
That's what I want.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh yeah, I just got my nails. They'll look like brand new again.
God, girly. Bestie slay.
I love
Big
this.
Slay.
Big slay. And you did so stupid. I hate it. Big slay. That's I have to find. Did I send it to you?
You didn't, but I've seen it before.
Big slay.
Yeah. Oh my God, big slay.
I want to vomit. I hate it. It's like so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. So this chapter opens with Harry admitting to Hermione that he actually hasn't fully figured out the egg.
Right.
Which honestly, he knows even more now than he did originally. So like, he's really lying because the only stuff he knows he just learned last night, and he was like actively putting it off because Cedric was the one that told him how to do it or what to do. So they're in charms and they're practicing banishing charms, and I was just like, what? I need to get a copy of this curriculum. I need to know.
I was tickled by Neville being bad at charms and him like moving Flitwick around the room. And there's a line where it says Flitwick flew resignedly across the room. Just
exactly. I thought that was so funny too. The expression on his face. Yep. Doing like a flip.
Yeah. And landing on a
Can I do it?
Landing on a filing cabinet.
Oh,
he's like,
just used to it. Yeah. Right. Just letting out a sigh. Well, so Harry is trying to tell them about the Moody and Snape interaction from the night before, though, and he really doesn't want to talk about the egg. So Ron suggests, well, maybe it's Snape that's behind this like goblet of fire nonsense. And Hermione is like, we've been through this. It is not Snape.
Every book, girl, we've been through it.
It really is like, I mean, I understand that Snape is a terrible person, as they say, like an asshole. He sucks. But
big dick energy, but like,
not in the good way.
Yeah, derogatory.
In the bad way. Incel energy.
Yeah.
And Hermione's like, well, I'm more interested in why Crouch is sneaking around the castle in the middle of the night when supposedly he can't come up here because he says he's ill.
Right.
And so Harry ends up sending a letter to Sirius because this counts as like a very unusual, experience in Sirius. Like, let me know if you experience anything else that's weird. I need to know. So let's get right to it. They supposedly cannot find anything that will help him breathe underwater.
Yeah, because they're looking for a charm.
Is that the problem? There is the bubble head charm. That's what it's called, right?
That has to be a charm.
So like, I get maybe
what else would it be?
Right. You wouldn't learn that until when you're older, maybe. But I'm like, Hermione had to have read in a book somewhere something like that.
If it's common enough that 2 of the Triwizard champions used it,
from 2 different countries.
I don't understand how it's not. It has to be like a standard spell that you learn in schooling.
It's just weird to me that like this feels too convenient. Like right away, I was just like, once again, Hermione is like the brightest witch of her age. I just don't think. I understand there's something convenient about it in terms of like having Dobby be involved. That's fine. I don't mind that it's gillyweed in the end, and it's something like that. They might not have learned about, or maybe in herbology they haven't covered that type of plant, or in potions.
But I also why didn't they use a potion? This was my whole thing. All I could think about was how I was like, why are you not even looking at potions? And then I was like, maybe it's because they can only bring a wand, but then I don't know.
He eats the gillyweed, so he brings that
in front of everybody. So he brought it. Yeah, it's not like in the movie where he eats it before or whatever. I don't know.
In the movie, he eats it like while he's standing on the dock too.
Yeah.
Moody's like, put that in your mouth, boy, or something like that. put that in your mouth, boy.
Can we talk about before this though? Ron and Hermione both have suggestions as to what the solution is, and Ron wants Harry.
Oh yeah,
he wants Harry to summon scuba gear from the nearest wizarding town, or right. I'm sorry, the nearest Muggle town.
Correct.
Ron was like, "Girl, Accio is going to solve the problems this year, girl."
He's not very creative.
You know what Harry could have done is he could have just Accio'd the Triwizard Cup at the end of the maze just from the beginning. Accio Cup.
Do you know who would do that? Yoon Jung-un. Yoon Jung-un.
Do I need to show the picture?
No. I'll pick one this time. Okay. Love you. My bias. Alt bias Yoon Jung-un. That's exactly what he would do. Yes. So,
and then
Hermione's like, absolutely not. That won't be allowed.
Right. But then her suggestion is, she was like, I wish we were learning human transfiguration at this point, because it would be great if you could transform into a submarine. I was like, boom. Everybody's out of their minds. Christmas holiday came. They all got a little crazy. They all got a little cuckoo. They've all lost their minds.
The hormones. They're 14. The hormones are running rampant.
Right.
I just don't understand how they can't find anything. Like scouring the library. This is the only school in the whole of Britain for magical children. So like, I'm like, this should have been like the library on Notre Dame campus, like how big that library is. I'm like, that has to be Hogwarts library then.
A collegiate level library.
Yes, it has to be.
I don't understand too. Why can't the Triwizards get help from people just because they're not supposed to?
I mean, they definitely all are.
They definitely all are, but I don't understand even the reasoning. They still have to do it themselves. So it's not even like...
Right.
I don't understand what... I understand maybe I would get if the rule was like you can't go to faculty and ask for help.
Right.
But like... Very silly. This whole Triwizard tournament is not very well thought out.
Yeah.
Especially in you know what? We'll get there, but...
Okay.
We can continue.
Sirius... or the letter to Sirius arrives back. His return. That owl, the brown owl, has returned.
Yeah.
And he just has scribbled, "Let me know the date of your next Hogsmeade visit." So Hermione's like, "Send it back right away. This is when it is." And then they're off to Care of Magical Creatures.
And this is chapter 26.5. The gold foals.
Well, no, we have to mention before for Adam. Adam, there are only 2 Scroots left. Are you heartbroken? No,
I was thrilled. I was thrilled that was the only mention of a Scroot that I got. I was like, thank fucking God.
I love that it was like, it wasn't, they weren't sure if it was because there were only 2 Scroots left, which I just was like, this is so careless, Hagrid. You bred these creatures. They've all killed each other off. Like,
like beta fish in a bowl.
Like beta fishes, yes. The new beta, Scroots. Alpha, Scroot, Omega.
Jesus.
Stupid.
You gotta think about that one.
Not my best.
I liked it.
You liked it? Okay. My best.
Ari, I really like that joke that you said.
Thank you.
I thought it was very funny, and these are words of affirmation.
Adam's giving me words of affirmation right now. Thank you. I actually do get very excited when Adam gives me a compliment, because I know you really mean it then. Not right then. That I knew was a bit, but but when it happens in real life, I'm like, oh, wow. Hagrid has managed to get 2 unicorn foals that are pure gold.
And this is crazy.
And the foals are more trusting. So like, this is the thing. Hagrid actually did kind of one up Will a little bit. it was like, okay, let's do a thing about unicorns. Like, let's actually do the foals because they're not as afraid and they're more trusting. So everyone can interact with the unicorn rather than, Will's was a little sexist. It was it was just only one gender could pet the unicorns.
Right.
But once again,
but I mean,
go unicorn.
That checks out.
Yeah,
that checks out for Grubbly Plank. That she would only want the girls to have a good class.
I still stand by what I said. You go unicorn. You go. Good for you. Set that boundary.
I got really annoyed at this chapter at this part, and only because we all know Jo. Jo and her Joanness. She was like, there were 3 students she names as being excited about the unicorn foals. And they are all girls.
Yeah.
It's Lavender and Parvati, and then Pansy Parkinson.
Yeah.
And I was like, I refuse to believe that that there was anyone who wasn't gooped and gagged at this entire
about the unicorn.
They're solid gold. They're gold.
They are gold. If nothing else, be impressed by that.
And none of them know about unicorns because, as we've very clearly stated on this very podcast, they don't know anything about normal magical creatures. So I don't think any of them would know that foals are gold.
No. I don't really... I just don't really understand. Like, I don't even think Harry goes up. It says everyone else was going to pet the baby unicorns, which I just was like, everyone is petting baby unicorns. Hello, read that sentence again. I'm just and Harry doesn't even go. Harry just does. What do they feel like? Are they? It's they're shining in the sun. Does one of them eat an apple out of someone's hand? Someone tell me. I need to know.
How small are their little horns?
No, they don't have horns yet. They don't grow them until.
Oh right, yes.
He said that
they don't grow them until. There, yeah.
Is one of them kind of turning silver? Is the little tail swishing away the flies? Do the flies not even come near them because they're just glowing?
Is the hair also gold, or is it I
need to know more. This is not enough.
I need answers.
Tell me more about the baby unicorns. Yeah. So, and Harry doesn't even go to pet them. I just was like, Harry, we would not be friends. You know what, Adam? The Hufflepuffs for this lesson were they had to be oh, wow.
That has to be it. That has to be it.
Forming a line. They were all no, I want to go first. I want to go first. They're all getting in a line to see the unicorns. You're hi. So excited. Ugh. It was the Hufflepuffs. They knew what was up. It's just because they're Gryffindors. They're like, meh. It's so crazy too, because I'm you would think there'd just be a little bit more about this because of the fact that, Hagrid does always bring monsters. So you would think there just would be more, I don't know, I would hope there would be more feedback from the students being like, this was such a good lesson, Hagrid. Someone say that to this man. Words of affirmation.
Talk to him.
Hagrid needs words of affirmation to know what lessons work and which ones don't, okay? Constructive criticism. We all need it. So Hagrid is super confident in Harry winning once again. This is like going off of the whole that him being sad about everyone learning that he was half giant, and then like, you know, being like, you can show him, Harry, that it. I don't think that.
I mean,
works.
I will say I'm very convinced that Harry is going to win the Triwizard Tournament, but I also know that the book is called Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, so I think I have a leg up on the situation.
I just don't like this idea of like Harry being seen as such an outcast, because I'm like, that's just not, maybe in book 5 we get into that territory, but we're not there yet. He's literally known internationally as the boy who lived. And he also, even though he wasn't able to access it until he was 11, he essentially is like a trust fund baby because his dad left him a trust fund.
Yeah. Ignore that. He's also the youngest seeker at Hogwarts in a century. He also like has He helped defeat the Chamber of Secrets 2 years ago. He like saved the Sorcerer's Stone 3 years ago. I just refuse to believe that
he can do. He can perform a Patronus charm at the age of 13.
This narrative that they're pushing of being like, ugh, no one really likes Harry.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
I just
don't.
I'm like,
he talks about his Quidditch, and that's what's left out of the book. Is that
like,
every conversation he's like, "So you see the last Quidditch game?"
It just doesn't work. Like, I don't know why that was what she wanted to do. Like, it doesn't really make sense that Hagrid
it makes so much sense for the next book.
Yeah, do it then.
Yep.
We don't really have a reason to do that yet. So Hagrid, because Hagrid is so confident in Harry, Harry doesn't feel comfortable asking him for help about what the monsters that might potentially be in the lake. And I'm like, Harry, this is where I'm like, how does Harry's brain work? Because I understand when you're 14, sometimes you're like less open with people. But like, if this person is like, I'm so confident in you, you're going to win, blah, blah, blah. Like, I would be like, I really appreciate that, but I kind of feel overwhelmed. Like, do you know anything about the creatures in the lake, Hagrid? Because like, he can ask Hagrid for help. Hagrid's not going to say anything. So that was a little weird to me. I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, oh, well, I can't ask Hagrid for help because he just is like so confident and like just rooting for me. But I'm like, I feel like that's exactly why you can. Anyway.
Right.
Then they're back in the library looking into ways for Harry to breathe underwater again.
Right. This is the night before.
Yes. And this is the moment where they have this interesting exchange about the animagus. How do you say it? Animagus?
I always say animagi.
Oh, okay. Animagus.
If you're speaking about one or the group, I don't know. The group of animagi.
Animagi.
Is the plural.
He's like, I wish I was an animagus. And then I was like, why is this here? And I was like, oh, right. Rita.
Because she has to. This was so my note is literally, I wonder why we're weirdly going over the rules and procedures to legally becoming an animagi out of nowhere in this chapter.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Girl.
I feel like, I don't know. I just am like.
It didn't work here. It needed to happen in the book. I know that, but like it did not work here. I
am not a science fiction or young adult novelist, but I just am like, there had to have been a better way. In one of their lessons. No, shockingly. Shockingly, no.
You know what? I'm going to say something bold. I feel like you could write a better representation of women than Joe Rowling.
Oh, and I mean, that's not bold. Yeah.
Say that.
I agree. So bold. So bold of you to say, but you are correct. I can confidently say that. But yeah, I was like, okay, sure. I was at first when it started happening, I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, right. And then there was this very quick bit where Hermione's like, who needs to grow their nose hair into ringlets? And I was like, what the fuck is this? What are we doing? To which Fred and George appear and they're like, oh, sounds great. We'd love to do that. And they inform them that Professor McGonagall has requested them to escort Hermione and Ron to her office. They have to like escort them. It's funny. And so Harry is left on his own to continue to figure out.
They say, we'll meet you back in the common room. And they do say that.
They never come back.
And he doesn't notice it either, which is.
Yeah, he didn't, right? He didn't really say anything.
No, he doesn't. And
There's
I was looking for
it, right?
Purposefully. Correct.
Okay, I was like, did I miss
because
it?
Because this Harry Potter, who in 3.5 pages is so concerned about his friends that he like forgoes winning the tournament basically because he needs to save them. He goes back to the common room and like they're not there and he doesn't freak out. He doesn't,
especially with the like PTSD this boy has with like every year there's been some scary shit happening at the castle.
Right. Are we just supposed to believe that he's so focused on this? I don't know. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, there should have just been a quick mention of like Harry and Ron, or Hermione and Ron still hadn't turned up. Harry thought maybe they had just gotten tired and gone to bed or something.
Yeah.
Just like anything. So Harry goes back to the common room by himself for a bit, only to pretty much after everyone's gone to bed, like return to the library where he ends up falling asleep there at like 2:30 in the morning.
Right. It mentions that he grabs his invisibility cloak, so he would have gone to the bedroom and noticed that Ron wasn't there.
Yeah. Wait, hello. Girl. Harry, you are not a good friend. Go to McGonagall and be like, Ron never came back. Yeah, like this is what I'm saying, especially after the previous experiences. He would be like, oh my God, what if something happened?
This is not on Harry. This is on Ron. This is on Ron. That's not even to say. This is on Joe. This is bad writing.
Right, one of those moments where you're like, I'm just completely taken out. He falls asleep in the library around 2:30 or so, only to be woken up by Dobby at 9.
Wait, hold, stop, pause, go back. I need you to talk about this dream. You got to talk about this dream, girly.
Oh, do we?
Only because I had one note about it. We really don't. But the only thing I wanted to bring up was in the dream, he's like goes down to be like, I can't complete the challenge, and everyone's like making fun of him. Basically, that's the dream.
Yeah.
It's a very like you're at the school assembly and you're naked. It's a very that dream.
It's that dream.
And in the dream, he has the flashback of the memory of Fleur being like, he is a little boy, he cannot compete. And I wrote, I'm Fleur. He is a little boy, he cannot compete.
You can't let this mute little boy.
Crazy.
Correct. Yeah, we are all Fleur. Did you see RJ shared the post that someone made a post talking about Fleur, and I was like, thank you. I was like, for real. Someone gets it.
Math. Somebody do the math on why Fleur lost the first challenge.
No sense.
The math ain't mathin'.
We're going to talk about the Grindylow bit in this too, because there's a very small part of it that I believe in terms of what. Anyway, I'll wait to get to it.
At least this one has a reason why she like doesn't win the challenge. But
there's an actual given reason.
First challenge
makes no sense. Boo. No sense. She should have won. How did you feel about Dobby waking him up 10 minutes before the task is about to start?
I noticed that. I think I was too surprised that it was Dobby for me to have a reaction because I'm so used to the movie where it's Neville who gives him the gillyweed.
Right.
So I was like, oh, it's Dobby. And then there's another person that comes back in this chapter that I was like, oh, this person also comes back in this chapter. It's Moaning Myrtle. But there were two things that happened that I was like, huh?
Yep. So you're like, what? Where did this come from?
Do we have an explanation later about this at all?
Dobby waking him up? Being the one to
Dobby
help him?
having the guilt? Yes, we do.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember for sure. But that's this. It has to be this because it's right after he saw Crouch in Snape's closet, right? We had to have that in order for him to get the gillyweed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I think, he's stealing other stuff from the potions.
Because very soon we're about to find out that the gillyweed did come from Snape's cabinet.
Yes. Right. Correct. I don't know if I buy that, like, what day of the week is it? Is it a Saturday? Maybe Madam Pince wasn't in the library. I'm like, no one was in the library. I understand that there's the Triwizard Tournament is happening. So I know people aren't just like going to the library, but like her or Filch, like no one was like in the library in the morning.
Yeah, it's 9:20. 9:20, yeah.
And he has 10 minutes to get down. First off, with how big this castle is.
We all know that isn't possible.
He wouldn't have got there on time, guys. It takes them a half an hour to get to Hagrid's. Right?
Question. Why don't these people Accio fucking firebolt to go everywhere? Like,
why don't you Accio yourself? Accio!
A banishment charm myself.
Banish yourself. Oh my gosh. I don't.
Resigned.
Yeah, resign. Banishing yourself. Have someone banish you. Banish me to the lake. I'm gonna be late. Banish me to my astronomy class. I'm gonna be late. So Dobby is like, you need to save your Wheezy, which I liked this bit. It was very cute. You're Wheezy. And Harry's like, huh? You're Wheezy, sir. The one who gave Dobby his sweater. And then Harry's like, Ron? Which like, being in Harry's shoes in this moment, the panic. If someone was like, oh, if we were 14 and someone was like, oh yeah, and you have to go get Adam from like the bottom of a lake, I literally would be like, I'm sorry, what? I thought you were going to take like my teddy bear.
I will say this boy is out of his mind in this chapter, and there are multiple reasons as to why. And I will say the biggest one is probably because he woke up 10 minutes before this. Happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. You're so right. This poor child, like Dobby's telling him all of this, and he's just like, "What? My Wheezy? What? Yes. What are you saying?" And he's like wiping like drool off his face.
This is the second time that he's woken him up this year.
Oh, right. Okay, so at least this time. Well, no, he learned. But he learned this time. But this time he was like elbowing him.
Yeah.
Dobby, what are we doing? Just like a gentle shake. What's happening here? So Dobby gives Harry the gillyweed. And Harry's like, Dobby, no offense, but are you sure that this is going to work? Which, like, I mean, to be fair, the last time, he was like trying to save Harry's life, a lot of shit was going down. I do think that's different because this is a very specific thing that he's giving Harry. And also, Harry, you have no other option. So you do have to just like, you have to take the gillyweed. But Dobby mentions that he heard Professor McGonagall and Moody talking about this.
Moody talking about it, yeah.
And he's like, he's heard things when he's working and around the school and cleaning up and stuff like that. So he's like, I hear a lot of things and like, yeah, I'm confident this will work. So Harry literally has to sprint down to the lake, and everyone else is already there. I really like that he gets there and he just goes, I'm here.
Yeah.
I just like that a lot. There's two lines in this chapter that I really like. One Harry says and one Ron says, and I got a good giggle out of both of them. So Percy is there instead of Crouch. This is important to note. And Percy is like an asshole to Harry. I was like,
off the bat, and I was like, I literally wrote, Percy, you're a goddamn intern.
Yes, I was like,
calm down.
I couldn't believe. I was like, also, you like know Harry. So what are you doing? Percy is taken over for Crouch, and then the other thing to note is that Ludo pulls Harry to the side a little bit once again, and is like, "You all good? You know what you're gonna do?" And Harry's like,
we're just beating this dead horse, aren't we? God.
Do you know what? I think obviously, it, like as we've said, it's to have another like red herring with him. But I think we needed someone to be encouraging him through the tournament, didn't we? Because in the end, we find out that they do want him to win, so he is transported via the port key. So I think that's, even though Karkaroff is like kind of the obvious red herring, Ludo is the one that, like, I'm sure people, when he is when they take the port key, they're like, oh, it must have been Ludo because he was like trying to help him that whole time, only for it to be something completely different.
Yeah, and we won't say what it is.
No,
we're not spoiling that.
We're not spoiling that. We'll spoil everything else, but not
Can
that.
Can we talk about? So there's like students watching. Everybody's there to watch. Yeah. But like, what are you watching?
Yeah, right. They're in the water, and that's it.
At least in the first challenge, shit was going on in front of you.
Wait, yeah. There must have been a halftime show, Adam. Well, what would have been
put your hands together for Beyonce Knowles.
It's like synchronized swimming, like in the lake.
Yeah.
The squid does like a little dance number.
Yeah.
It's like SeaWorld with the squid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like SeaWorld with the squid.
Somebody's riding on the back of a dolphin.
Yeah. So they sound, what is it? Do they shoot off a gun? They just say go, or they fire?
They go and they all go at the same time.
Yes. Right.
We asked this in.
They all go at the same time. So there is no, these people go at this time and these people go at that time. Yeah, they all just walk into the lake, and Harry says he actively tries not to pay attention to everyone, but they all go in together. It's not in an order of who won or whatever. So he puts the gillyweed in his mouth, and like nothing happens at first, but then it feels like a pillow has been put over his face. And then he feels that he's grown gills on the side of his neck. So he's just kind of
horror show.
Yeah, it's scary.
I hate this. This is like in Pinocchio when they turn into donkeys.
Oh, I know. That part is so sad. This is just
like that. It's so scary.
That part of the Pinocchio
Looking
ride.
down, I want to emphasize this. In the movie, it's filmed very like it's heroic because then he like jumps out of the water and you're like excited that he's figured it out, basically.
Yeah.
If you were to look down at your feet and they had grown into flippers,
have a breakdown.
My bowels would be voided, like just gone. I hate that. My hands webbed together and I can feel holes in my neck.
Holes in your neck. Exactly. Yeah. Slits in your neck.
Holes by Louis Sachar in my neck. Stupid.
Holes with Stanley Yelnats.
Gross.
I don't know.
Do you have
what is that? Trichtophobia?
Trichtophobia? Is that what it's called?
What is that?
The one where you're scared of like just deep water that you can't see what's in it. I have.
Oh, no, because I had swim lessons from the age of like 4. No, Not for you.
Hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like
the ocean.
If I'm not like touching, if my feet aren't on the sand.
Yeah.
And I'm just out swimming and then there's like just open. No. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
It's okay if I can't touch the bottom. I don't like the idea of like being out in the ocean or like even like Lake Michigan sometimes being out too far would freak me out just because of like the undertow and like stuff like that.
Right.
Like that would scare me. But not so much about the like the unknown in the dark water. No, not really. When he goes into the depths of the water, into Adam's nightmare, he is briefly held up by Grindylow, but Lupin has taught them all how to deal with Grindylow, so he knows what to do.
Thank God.
So I believe this for like him and Cedric, that if they came up against Grindylows, they'd probably be fine. And then I guess because Crumb has a literal shark head, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the Grindylow didn't want to mess with him. So then that would leave Fleur to be the only one that like doesn't have something that can help her out with the Grindylow, basically.
Yeah.
But any spell that repels an attacker, I'm sorry, you're telling me this 17-year-old girl does not know how to get some grimy hands removed off her body? That's like
a woman who's
the first
a quarter Vila.
Yeah. That's like the first thing we're taught. All the responsibility is put on us to protect ourselves because you won't teach the men to not hurt women. So I'm sorry. I don't believe that. Joe Rowling.
I believe it because she wrote it. That's why I believe it.
Oh, there's another part. There's the one specific moment that I'm going to talk about that I'm so curious if you noticed it. No, not the kiss.
Oh, okay.
We're getting close. I'll mention it, and I'm just like, and then Myrtle appears.
This is a ghast. I was living. I said, "Girl, a reveal." This is season 3. Shangela coming out of the box as a surprise. Surprise! Hallelujah, bitches! I'm back. This is Shangela.
I was like, Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle is canonically Shangela. Laquifa Wadley.
Oh my gosh. I don't understand how the physics of ghosts work. No. This is so weird. And she like just talks about yeah, clearly. She just like is like, oh yeah, it's you want to go over that way. I don't go over there because they chase me off. And I'm like, yeah, they're probably like, what the fuck is that?
But also like, they chase you off again. You're a ghost. I don't.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Stab you?
Right. She's.
Yeah.
But yeah, ghosts couldn't even figure out where the Chamber of Secrets were. So remember that.
Thank you. What are we doing? The ghosts don't know where the Chamber of Secrets is, and Harry Potter can't go to Hogsmeade because he doesn't have a signed permission form. But Myrtle can swim in the Black Lake, and Harry can compete in the Triwizard Tournament, even though there isn't an actual contract.
We are in the Upside Down. Come on, Stranger Things. This is
This is the original Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Having its own rules.
Girl. Oh my God. So she appears, she tells him which direction to go. He gets to the Mercy. He gets to Atlantis. He reaches Atlantis.
Okay. I don't know when's a great time to bring this up, so I'm bringing it up now.
Oh, yeah.
He knows where to go because he happens to run into Moaning Myrtle, the Hogwarts second floor corridor girls' bathroom ghost.
In the
lake. And she tells him which way to go. They're supposed to get back in less than an hour. That's the time limit. They're supposed to get back in less than an hour.
Right.
And none of them make it back in less than an hour.
No.
And I don't understand why that was the time for questions abound.
Yeah. Never ending. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he is the one to find them first, like, there's no way Moody told Myrtle to go into the lake and help him. So,
right. Maybe
I don't understand how this happened. Like, what would have happened if he didn't run into her?
Are the students supposed to know where the mer people's homes are in the Black Lake? And that was like the clue they're figuring out?
Is it like the Black Lake is only so big, so they're just like, well, just swim around until you find it. It'll probably be under an hour. Like, what is this?
Or it has to be under an hour because that's how long gillyweed lasts, and he had to use I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't right. How long did the gillyweed last? We don't know. Yeah, he just guessed that it would last an hour. So when he gets to the Mer City, he sees Hermione, Ron, Cho, and a little girl who looks very similar to Fleur, so Fleur's sister. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't want to leave all of them there. like he tries to take Ron first. And they're like, okay, great. You know, well, he asked for help. And they're like, we can't help. The guy's literally like, we don't help.
Yeah, there's something weird about them. They just keep laughing the whole time this whole chapter. They're like, no. It's so weird.
I'm restraining him. Stupid. Oh, you want to help them? Oh no. Like
oh,
I'm sorry, you want to help them? Oh no. You can't do that. It's just really weird. It's really weird.
We have to wait. The most bonkers part of this chapter is not Moaning Myrtle, the second floor corridor girl's bathroom ghost swimming around in the black lake. It's not Dobby appearing with gillyweed. It's not anything. It's not Ron offering that they should scuba gear from a neighboring town. None of that is the craziest part.
What is
the craziest part?
What?
Is that mer people have recreated suburbs. They have yards of weeds, and they have like hooked up a Grindylow like a dog on their front lawn. It is so great. The whole description, I was like, I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Suburbia.
Yeah, and then there's a village square, and I was
aquatic suburbia.
Crazy.
A little underwater playground for the kiddos.
Yeah, it was giving. Did you see Luca?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's exactly Luca.
Oh, really?
Luca
okay.
does the exact same thing. Yep. He's like a shepherd. Of like fish. He's like a fish.
Yeah,
shepherd.
right. Cute.
Anyway, that was very funny to me.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, oh wow, okay. So Cedric shows up after Harry, and he has done the bubblehead charm. And then he gets Cho and then just immediately leaves. And so Harry's like, okay, where's everyone else? And then Crumb comes and what?
And to be clear, Harry believes that at the end of the hour, they are going to die.
Yeah.
I just want to like make that clear in case it's not, and people haven't read these books. The reason why Harry's just chilling is because he's worried that nobody's going to save them and they're going to die.
I think you were right that he has to think that only because he woke up and he had like 10 minutes to process. Like he only had 10 minutes to process that like Ron was taken and he's at the bottom of the lake.
I can't even get into it yet. I have to wait till the end of the chapter.
Okay.
You can continue.
Okay. So Cedric has done a bubblehead charm. He swims up to the surface. Then Crumb shows up and he has just transformed his head into a shark head. Yeah. And then when he fast forwarding a bit, when he reaches the surface, when we see him, like when everyone comes up, he's just back to normal again. What? What do you mean? Yeah. He had a shark head.
It was.
He just was like, never mind. As soon as he like hit the surface, it went away. That's what happens in the movie. I really don't understand. I was like,
but in the movie, it seems like it's more purposeful and it's not like a fuck up. Whereas like here, it's like he clearly got his spell incorrect.
Yeah. So
wouldn't he be splinched?
Yeah, like something like that, right? Or like stuck like that. So I mean, maybe Madame Pomfrey helped him. I don't know, but he's fine as soon as he is up there, gets out of the water. So both the boys come, but Fleur is nowhere to be found. Right. So then Harry,
women can't save women. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no. Women can't fend off attackers, you know. So Harry pulls his wand on the merman because they keep laughing at him and telling him no. And he's finally like, I'm done. Look at my magic stick. I've got it. And they wisely back off. And then he saves the young girl as well. This was the weird moment that I wanted to address. It was weird to me that she felt the need to specify that he grabbed Ron by the collar of his robes and then grabbed the little girl around the waist. I just was like, what are we doing? Why are we doing that? Why don't you just grab onto them both the same way? It's weird. It was weird. It was weird to me. And you know what it makes me it just makes me think of that whole people, men and women, both like feel like they have the right to just like touch women more or like have more intimate touches with women. And I'm just like, let's stop that. Please, no more of that. So that was weird that she specified that to me. And I was like, I could have done without that. Why didn't he just like grab onto both of them and started swimming towards the surface? It was very weird.
Why were they tied down if they didn't like float up to the top? Why did they have to even tie them? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. They should have, right? Like as soon as he untied them, they maybe just because they would have like aimlessly floated in the water. Yeah, your arms. Yeah, exactly. So
there's a point in this chapter where he was like, I don't know. I have to save them because I don't know what these mer people are going to do. Do they eat humans? And I just have to say,
Harry,
if by year 4 you haven't learned that mer people don't eat humans, I think you go to a bad school. I think you're not learning what you need to be learning. Yeah. I think maybe there should be some standardized testing going on because
an English class.
Some children are getting left behind. Let's say that. And they're Harry Potter. That's who's getting left behind at Hogwarts.
No child left behind. Hogwarts.
Ugh. Embarrassing.
Spoiler, they make it. They make it to the surface. Right. Harry feels like his lungs are about to explode. The gillyweed does wear off before he makes it to the surface. So he
I guess it's been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah.
And then as soon as Ron comes to, he's like, wet this, isn't it? I just loved that line. It's just like swimming in the water. Wet this,
after he spits like a stream of water from his mouth.
Right. Wet this, huh? It's a little wet over here. It's just so great. I was like, great, Ron, love it. This is the Ron we love.
My
Not
uncle,
the asshole Ron, okay?
My aunt and uncle in Niles, they had a pool. And whenever I go over and I'd get in the pool, I was like a kid or whatever, my uncle would always go, "Hey, Adam, how's the water? Is it wet?"
Right.
Classic.
Such an uncle joke. So Fleur is just completely beside herself. Everyone else is pretty much getting checked out by Poppy. I hope they're paying her overtime.
Can I ask a question?
No. What if I was just like, no? Anyways.
So Fleur didn't make it, right? She ostensibly probably came up before everybody else and like had to forfeit.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's the guess. Shouldn't at that point, once they knew what's her sister's name? Claudette? What's her name? Georgina?
Oh my God, wait, what is her name?
What is her name?
Gabrielle.
Once they know, shouldn't one of the mer people like grabbed Gabrielle to like take her up to the surface? Well, how long were they going to let her lay down there?
I think that's what they would have done. But I think they still would have waited until the time limit. I think that was the rules they were told. I don't know. That's
the
my
time limit
guess.
already it doesn't make sense, and it's
They were waiting for
stupid.
Harry to leave.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, they were like, well, we can't do anything until he's gone.
This guy won't let us save Gabrielle.
You're ruining everything and you don't even know it. It's so stupid.
Maybe they were crying. Maybe he thought they were laughing, but they were
yeah, they were crying. Yeah. We're trying to save this girl. I just want to go to bed. I'm so tired. So Percy, this moment was kind of sweet. Percy was like very worried about Ron.
Yeah, I did think that was sweet.
That was sweet. So there's like a bunch of like really specific things all like in this one like couple pages that happen. So Crumb mentions that Hermione has a beetle in her hair. Everyone came back outside the time limit, but because Harry was like, they were like, why couldn't you find us? Or, you know, they were like, what, did it take you a while to find us? And he's like, no, I was just like worried about everyone else. And they were like, oh, Harry, obviously nothing was going to happen to us. And then he's like, that's easy for you to, in his head, he's like, that's easy for you to say because you weren't down there and like seeing how creepy it was down there.
Well, also like it's Hogwarts. I also shouldn't be the fucking Triwizard champion. And yet here we are. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, anything can happen. Just with the track record of what's happened at this school, I don't know.
Again, I do want to be clear that Harry did need a signed permission slip to go to Hogsmeade last year, but there was no permission slip needed signed
to go in the lake.
To go be a hostage at the bottom of a lake.
Face a dragon.
I'm almost there. You have a couple more things, I believe, to say before I have to go into my rant.
So Fleur is very grateful that Harry and Ron somehow have like helped bring her sister back. So she kisses both of them. I'm really not going to talk about it. They both get a kiss from Fleur. And then there's more about like Crumb is grouchy. The merfolk. Crumb is grouchy because Hermione's not really like paying attention to him.
Yeah. He did save her.
Yeah, he did. But also like these are like her best friends. So
I also like that his like the person he treasured the most was Hermione Granger. Hermione. I think that's very sweet.
Yeah. I like that Hermione is like dating basically like the most famous Quidditch player in the world at this point. And she like is just kind of like, oh yeah, cool. Hey, anyways, hey guys. Yeah, Harry, what took you so long? Oh my God, crazy. That's so crazy that you thought we were all gonna die. Like, and he's just like, Hermione, you have a beetle in your hair. Like, it's just like, I like that she's like, oh, okay. Anyways, like she just, a beetle. She just like can't be bothered, you know? She knows her worth. She knows what she has to offer. But yeah, and the fact that he is 17 and she is 14. So like typically that age difference is like, the girl is like, oh my God, I have such a huge crush on him. Oh my God. And I love that Hermione is like not like that at all. It's great. So they also, the merfolk, the mer people have a matriarch. And she is talking to Dumbledore in Mermish. They're discussing what happened. And then it is revealed basically that they were like, oh yeah, Harry got there first, but he made sure that everyone, was rescued and like brought to the surface. And so when they're announcing the scores, they take that into consideration that Harry did the Gryffindor thing and was like extra brave. And Hermione and Ron are just like, this guy, I can't go anywhere with him. Harry, come on now. I mean, they're just like
embarrassed.
But it ends up working in his favor. And then there's like the moment where Fleur is like in last place now. And I just, how? That makes no sense. I understand that she lost this time, but like with how well she did in the previous task, boo. And like it just doesn't make sense. So I don't really understand the part of it that I can believe is that the whole Grindylow bit of it all. But I'm just like, there's no, because you know, she didn't have Lupin as a teacher, but neither did Crumb. So I'm just like, how would she not have known? She's a 7th year student at this point. She knows like a ton of charm, or is supposed to know a ton of charm.
I kind of wish she had been stopped by just another anything else down there, like the squid got her or something.
Right,
you know
something
what I mean?
like more intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when they got her, did she have to like shoot up the red sparks? Like we haven't talked about that. So like how did they help her? Did she get out and she just had to come back? Like I don't really
Yeah,
I don't know.
What were the Grindylows like? Did they know that they were part of a game? So they were like, okay, once you stop her, then you like let her go.
Yeah.
And then you tell her you have to go back to the surface because you lost.
Yeah. I don't know. So basically what ends up happening is Harry ties for first with Cedric. Okay. And then basically the last bit of this chapter that I feel like is worth mentioning is that Harry says he is going to buy Dobby a pair of socks for every day of the week. Listeners, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if that actually happens. Okay.
We'll see if that comes to fruition. We'll let you know.
I was so mad when I heard that last part. I was like, and I bet he never actually does it.
I don't think he gives Dobby anything in the rest of this book series ever.
I'm trying to remember. There's like a part of me that wants to believe that he does do it. And then like Dobby is so excited and it's like just a quick moment that I just can't remember. But I'm like, I don't remember him doing that at all. So that's it. That's the chapter.
June 24th is the next challenge, the final challenge.
Yes, right.
Which is tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're right. For us, yeah, tomorrow.
For us recording it.
But that's also, that means that is 4 months away. Once again, why is this tournament so spread out?
Why is the British school year so spread out?
June? I don't think it is anymore. That's like crazy, isn't it?
Okay, here's my rant.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get into it.
There is no good and goddamned reason that the thing that you had to get at the bottom of the lake were living human beings. People. This is so stupid. It is incredibly reckless. It is endangering people's lives to be pawns in a game. This is very Albus Dumbledore, and I just mean to say that he likes using people in order to like spin his little webs and, you know, very that energy. And I really hated I really hate how everyone treats Harry when they realize that he like was scared for them, because there is no explanation as to like why would he believe that they were going to be free? Like, I understand if you like step back for a second, like, of course, nobody's going to let them die. But also, like, I don't think he's put it together that like the mer people didn't like steal them specifically. Like they were placed there. Blah, blah,
right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah.
I just like feel really bad. I think Harry's really great in this chapter. Actually, I think this is a stellar chapter for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
He like tries really hard and he goes above and beyond. But it really bothers me that they like were like, you have to get something precious to you. And like in his dream, they took his like firebolt.
Yeah.
So why couldn't you have just taken his firebolt?
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been just a thing? Why did it have to be this whole high stakes pressure situation? I mean, I get it has to be so that Harry's the hero and he like saves everybody and that's how he gets all the extra points.
Yeah, there's like other people involved.
But like, I really don't like it. And it's probably because of my fear of like underwater stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just like living that
Right,
fear
yeah,
through this chapter.
if someone was like, can we just have you be, you're going to be unconscious and you'll be okay, but we're going to just have you be at the bottom of the lake for an hour, or like place, probably more than that, because you'd be placed there before they go in. You'd be like, no.
I will say when I was like younger and I was like, I'm going to be an actor, I would watch movies or TV shows where they had to like do underwater footage. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
could literally never be me. I would be like stunt person, or I'm
never be me.
literally walking off the set forever. Goodbye. So anyway, I just really, it bugs me, and it bugs me. So that's my big rant about this chapter.
And that's that on that.
It's very indicative as to who Albus Dumbledore is. Because
Yeah,
we're so worried about the drama and the performance of the like, you have to find the one you love. If you tarry any longer, they will die. Girl, why couldn't you just be like, at the end of the hour, okay, even if you were like, let's use your friends, fine. Why does it have to be like, at the end of the hour, they will perish?
It's gone, they won't come back.
Coming back. Why couldn't it be like, at the end of the hour, the time's up, and then you did lose? So they'll just be returned. But you are supposed to save them, because they do have to be like dead weight for you to carry. So there's like an extra physical struggle on the way back up. What are we doing?
It's also the like how they're like, of course we weren't actually going to die, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm like, first off, Harry wasn't even supposed to be allowed to compete in this tournament. And he has to. So I just am like, I don't know. I don't think I would just take the words people say at face value. I don't think I can anymore.
There's no way Cedric knew that Cho was down there. He probably got down there and was like, oh, it's Cho. It's Cho. Okay, fine. Because he doesn't know. He's not like in her house, blah, 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 blah. Harry doesn't know that it's them because he was asleep. Well, then he gets told that it's Ron. And then Crumb, there's no way Crumb thinks that Hermione is at the bottom of this lake. Unless they all, for some reason, understood that it was a person being taken, which that's not in any way clear by the clue.
I would assume not.
Can you imagine? I just want to say something. I'm actually back on the Fleur Delacour train.
Yeah.
Fleur Delacour woke up this morning and her sister was missing.
Right. Her sister doesn't even go to these schools.
Her sister was missing. And you know that they were like, they're best friends. They're like very sweet together. Yeah. She was going to like, go to her and be like, okay, can you walk down to the thing with me? And blah, 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 blah. Her sister's missing. Madame Maxime is not telling her. Maybe she does. I don't know. But she's like freaked out. And then obviously the Grindylows get her because she thinks her sister is at the bottom of the lake.
Right. She's not like thinking straight.
I should put it back in. I just got so mad that I ruined the recording, but I didn't ruin it. It just stopped it.
You didn't ruin it.
Obviously this girl was traumatized. Trauma. For
real though, she was like the most panicky. It'd be like her and then Harry, because Harry knew that Ron was down there. And he woke up and had 10 minutes to process everything. She has been like pacing in circles since in the carriage all morning. Yeah, for sure. This poor girl. Once again, Team Fleur. We are Team Fleur. Forever. Always.
Why are we risking people? What are we doing this for? For a cup?
The drama.
For a cup?
Which one? There's 3 in this book.
You know, Great British Bake Off when they win, but they just win like a glass cake tray.
Yes.
For a cake tray?
Yeah, for a cake tray. Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
So that's it. That's the chapter.
Oh, thank you so much, Arri. That was incredible. What a time we experienced together.
Thank you for your rant at the end is the little cherry on top.
I'm livid. That wraps up this chapter. Next week we'll be reading chapter 7 called Padfoot Returns. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and on Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect Newt score. 5 stars only, or else you will be taken hostage to the bottom of a black lake and held there indefinitely until someone either saves you or the laughing mer people will just let you go. What the fuck?
Oh my God, a nightmare. Not the laughing mer people.
Specifically,
Adam's nightmare.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at HP Anxious, Instagram at HP Anxious, and YouTube at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Anchor, and we are recorded on Zencaster, so thank you to both of them. And we are a proud member of...
The Ampliverse TikTok exists now.
Oh, yes, girlies, follow The Ampliverse TikTok if you're on that clock app.
The clock app.
Because we've been posting our little clips on there as well. We're going to start.
Yeah, we'll
have posted a few by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah.
We are hosting Anchor, recorded on Zencaster, so thank you both of them, and a proud member of the Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you, Arri.
Thank you, Adam.
For everything.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to say...
I left you at the altar.
And I want to say, Arri, that I'm here to affirm that you did a great job with this chapter today.
Thank you. Thanks, Adam. I won't compliment you because I know it makes you uncomfortable.
Thank you. And as always, golden foals?
2 gold foals. 2 gold foals.